First up, Freedom Day, and of course that was yesterday, South Africa celebrating Freedom Day, and it was interesting, the views that were expressed at a particularly difficult time, I think, for South Africans generally. If you look at, just the statistics, regardless of which metric you choose to zoom in on, it's not looking great. And I think by and large people were reflecting on that.
Yeah, indeed. And that was Freedom Day, of course. We call them celebrations. A lot of people weren't calling them celebrations just because there's just so many issues that are facing South Africans, which is hampering their freedom. Maybe free to do what you would like to do, but economically that freedom is just not there in terms of finding jobs and basic services and all of those kind of things. So that was Freedom Day that, of course, was held on the 27th of April.
And incidentally, just to, for example, bring that into a greater context, if you take the fact that when we went to vote on Freedom Day in 1994, there were about just over 20 million people who were registered to vote. I think around 22 million people, and then of which about 19 million people ultimately voted. And you look at the number of social grant recipients at the end of 2022 who totaled 29 million.
Wow.
Just something to look at and think about.
Wow. All right. Well, there we go. That's a trending topic of Freedom Day that was held yesterday. Next topic is, of course, Putin. And Putin is, you heard that in the news, it's also the question of the day about the Western Cape Premier, Alan Winde, saying that if Russian President Vladimir Putin steps foot in the Western Cape, that he will be arrested by LEAP. And that's what Winde was promising yesterday, and saying this, of course, on the back of the ICC's issue a warrant of arrest against Russian President Vladimir Putin. As it stands, South Africa is still a signatory and a member of the ICC. So Winde saying that the presidency is way too quiet on this, and if he does put his foot there, he will arrest him. But the reaction...
In the Republic of the Western Cape.
In the Republic of the Western Cape. And everyone's been laughing
at this.
But everyone's been laughing about it. You joke about that. But I mean, Julius Malema puts out a tweet saying, "Oh, how I wish President Putin could make a turn at Leeuwenhof Gardens, Cape Town. I just want to see
something."
but everyone, I mean, I won't even read half of the comments,
so many
but
people
everyone's
responded to that. But there were also more nuanced responses from people, I would imagine, more at grassroots level, who were talking about the fact that where's this vigor in arresting perpetrators of crime on the Cape Flats, for example? Why are you waiting for Putin? Why are you not dealing with our immediate issues?
Things that do that all the time. But just one more response. Of course, Fikile Mbalula was not going to go silently into the night. Alan Winde doesn't have power to stop anyone coming to this country. Western Cape is a province, not a country under a unitary state. So there you go. There, of course, the SG having his say.
And of course, we'd love your views on it.
Exactly.
At Morning Live SABC. Tell us your thoughts as well.
Nice.
Right, moving on to the next one. Let's take a look. Hashtag Kim Jong-un. And it's all about what's happening in the United States. Remember, you had that state visit from South Korea to the United States. And then, of course, Donald Trump talking about his friend, Kim Jong-un in North Korea. And he was basically also lamenting the fact that the United States is funding quite a lot of what's happening in South Korea. But saying that, there's his friend, Kim Jong-un in North Korea. And Donald coming out.
Exactly. All right, so there you go. The threat to Kim Jong-un and what the Washington Declaration means. That's what it seems to be speaking to. But Jerry Springer, the passing of Jerry Springer at 79 years old. And I mean, all of us grew up watching that, I don't know how to describe it. Trash was the first word that comes to mind.
I used to love the Jerry Springer show.
The Jerry Springer show. And we used to watch all of the fights taking place there between couples and weird scenarios and stories. And then, of course, as soon as the fights would start, remember, Jerry. Oh, that was scraping the bottom.
That was
anyway.
an era.
He's gone,
unfortunately, Jerry Springer passing away. What was he, 79 years old?
79 years old, indeed.
Okay, so that was one of those that also caught my eye yesterday. All right, that's where we're going to leave it.